Who are you? Another refugee? This place is already crawling with your lot. It's like a Camelosian privy after a feast. In my day, you only saw old familiar faces round here. And maybe we didn't all love each other, but a local is a local. It was easier to share with others, even when you didn't have much. That's so. Fine. Whatever you say. But yeah, I could see that you don't really look like one of them. Just pass them through then. Shame it had to be now. Not so long ago, we'd have sat down and had a drink with the rest of the lads. Now I come here alone. You asking me? They came here and made themselves at home. I ain't talking to any of them.
Orderly. No damn rabble begging at the gates and eating us at a house and home. Back then, sure, civilians came and went. But housing them, feeding them? We had a rule. No freeloading. But I guess that went out the window, along with our pride. You watch your damn mouth. We did everything we could. I've said it before. We need a whole damn army to keep this region in check. And besides, how do you know these leeches are even telling the truth? Every village wiped out. Just like that? Give me a break. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It used to mean something to be a keeper. You could come in off the streets and keepers would make a man out of you. Now, bunch of spoiled lordlings sold off to Brandon by their daddies for a bag of gold. Treated like they're made of glass. Soft. Weak. The lot of them. What's there to be proud of? You see anything interesting around here? There's this tavern, and plenty of fish in the sea. Decent place to retire, but not much else. Well, if you're looking to sightsee, try the sunken village. Just don't let the locals tear you to shreds. I don't know, but you could put something on the table. And then maybe we can talk.
Thank you. That's better. We used to come here, the three of us. Me, Berg, and Fedley. But lately, something's gotten into Berg, and it all kinda fell apart. Hell knows what happened. One day he just stopped talking to us. We went to his house to get him, but he only cursed a blue streak at us. Say, mate, do you feel like talking to an old obla? I feel bad for him, but I've got no more patience. And Finley? Let's just say Finley's no good at this stuff.
Now you're talking. Ever since he got so maudlin, Berg usually sits alone by the sea. Let me know what's wrong with him.
Beer from Connacht, wine from Farshire, moonshine, only local, the best there is. And fish, lots and lots of fish. What's your poison? You mean the old pier? Well, first of all, it's not that old. Brennan was already the captain when it was built. Why is it called that? Don't know. Probably because of all those old folks around. A lot has been happening here lately. Plenty of new faces. I definitely can't complain. I'm finally running a proper tavern. People come and go and the regulars drink as usual, as it should be. Daddy will be proud. Hey, not here, obviously. You won't see your old man here unless your name's Dara. Mine sent me here because he hoped I'd make something out of my life. You never wanted me to pour a beer and look at the same tired mugs day in, day out, but as it turns out, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I got mauled by a werebeast during a hunt, and after that, the captain decided I wasn't any good for active service, so he sent me here. I was bored out of my mind, and since there wasn't one here, I decided to start a tavern. At least I'm not as bored anymore. No, I don't recall anything like that. No, listen. I don't know what's going on, but I doubt any of the keepers had anything important on them. Half of them couldn't tell the quartermaster's seal from a pile of horse dung someone stepped on. But that means... no. Impossible. What if... holy moonshine. I remember. Sigibald. It was Sigibald who left those documents behind. I've no idea how you found out about it. Sigi. He's dead. Taken by a fever. Aye, of course I have. I didn't just throw them in some cabinet. I was afraid they'd fall into the wrong hands. He was a good man. I wouldn't get rid of my only memento of him. Here, after what you said, I assume you'll make good use of them. Even though I'm still not sure what to think about it. Things are getting weirder and weirder in our beloved Avalon. Well, he died like he lived, with a tankard in his hand. The boys always said Sigi was a friend worth 5 others. And he was. He was a prankster like no other. Once, he slipped a rotten egg into the quartermaster's dinner. Never a dull moment with him, that's for sure. No problem. Listen, if by some miracle you really talked with Sigibald, please, give him my warm regards. I don't understand anything anymore.
Oi, you're not from around here, are you? Come on. Sit down and tell me something about the world out there. Don't know. If I knew what to ask, I'd have asked it already. Now that I believe. Everywhere's a mess. Even here. I remember when we were held in the same regard as Camelot. Look at us now. They're taken in wimps. It's nothing like the old days. You bet they were. It's all been falling apart ever since they put Captain Brendan in charge. That one's got 2 coins where his eyes should be, if you ask me. Doesn't care about anyone or anything. He's just looking out for his own skin. Worst captain I ever served under, no doubt. Not that I serve anymore, I'm retired now. Filth everywhere, and it reeks of fish. Everyone's terrified of the weirdness. It's hard to believe I've lived long enough to see times like these. Not that long ago, we used to scare kids with stories about the weirdness. But now, grown men wet themselves if we tell the same tales. Honestly, I'm done with it all. I don't even recognize this world anymore. And I don't want to. Don't even get me started. Fergus always claims he's busy, but for the life of me, I can't figure out what he actually does. Probably just pretends to work. I talk to Riderick from the museum sometimes, but that one's a real know-it-all. We always end up arguing about how things used to be. If you ask me, they're all just as bad as each other. It's never going to be the same again. My brothers are gone, and I'm left here, all alone. We had a beautiful tradition. Choosing new keepers was done differently back then. You had to lie down and sleep in a special spot, but that's all I'm going to say. It's a secret, and it looks like it'll die with me. Of course I do. In my day, it wasn't sunken. It was a beautiful, lively place. Pilgrims would visit the All-Mother's Temple and Excalibur, and end up in the village. It broke my heart when I heard about the flooding. They say the Druids caused it, but who really knows? It doesn't matter now who did or didn't do what. It's over, that's all. Now go on, leave me, like everyone else has. There's nobody left with any sense to talk to.
Excuse me, could you get me a clean glass? And I mean clean, not just wiped 3 times with a dirty rag. I'm not sure. I don't mean to say that you peasants all look the same, but you have to understand it's quite difficult for people like me to tell anyone apart in this dreariness, especially since there seems to be so many people like you here. I thought the South was supposed to be more secluded. My name is Alyssa Murray, and I'm here with my husband, a very important cloth merchant. But surely you must have heard about our family. Not to brag, but we are rather prominent. I am famed amongst Camelot's courtiers for throwing the most magnificent feasts. Thank you. I designed it myself. I wanted to blend in with the people of the South. The savage tribes, the brave lightkeepers. I wanted to make an homage to them with my new style, and I do believe I've succeeded. I can feel everyone here gazing at me with awe. Give it a few weeks and everyone here will be trying to copy me. It happens in Camelot all the time. It's almost insufferable. Well, my Duncan is here on business, of course. A very important contract with the Lightkeepers. I decided to accompany him because I have never been to the South, and I've heard so much about its wild, untamed beauty. So far, it's turned out to be terribly dull. And the smell... it's like stale fish and sweat. Hopefully I don't have to suffer it much longer. Pray, tell me, do you know anyone here who would run a small errand for me? Oh, nothing major. You see, I've had my eye on this beautiful abandoned estate overlooking the sea. It's not very far from here, but it's far enough away from all this rabble. If we stay here for a while, I need a place for myself. You understand that, right? No offense, but I can't keep living in a filthy room at an inn. When I asked the innkeeper to draw me a bath, he brought me a bucket. A bucket! Can you imagine? Finally, someone sympathetic to my plight. My Duncan has been heartless about it. He just keeps going on about how I was the one who wanted to come here. He told me to deal with it. Can you believe that? The nerve of the man. Well, what he doesn't know can't hurt him, can it? He should be glad that I can take care of myself. I'm not like the other high-born women, sitting around waiting to be handed everything on a silver platter. And besides, he knows better than to say no to me. Fine. The problem is that the manor appears to have some occupants, not legal ones, mind you, who need to be evicted. Forcibly, if there's no other way. You'll do it for me, won't you, dear? Splendid. I can't wait to start decorating. Maybe something nautical, to go with the sound of the waves crashing on the cliffs? Or do you think that's a trifle trite?
Hello, child. You look competent enough. I can see that you're not of noble blood. Oh, no need to tell me that. I have tutored the children of aristocrats from all over Avalon. Fortunately for you, my opinion of them is not particularly high. Oh, and you don't look like one of the locals. Are you a visitor? Or an adventurer? You can talk. Now, I'm sure we'll get along. My name is Lady Elaine. I oversee the Farshire Library, the greatest collection of books in this part of Avalon. By the All-Mother, don't tell me you don't know what Farshire is. The largest duchy in the middle of the island, with the wise Lady Kincaid in power, who has a hold over the entire territory. Nothing? Oh, really? Farshire is one of the first duchies on Avalon. It is a beautiful land with lush fields, forests rich in game, and most importantly, the Wordstone mines in the west, the primary source of our wealth. Well, at least that's how I remember it. Now it's a mere shadow of its former glory. Oh, it's a rare and coveted material, necessary to create the sturdiest steel in the world. As you can imagine, dear, it used to be Farshire's greatest treasure, until the primordial fog took our minds. I know, child. I know. Everyone was surprised. Camelot turned up their noses at this for years. But after Lord Kincaid died and Aidan, Lady Kincaid's son, disappeared, the nobles of Farshire decided she could stay on the throne. Even if Aidan had been alive, she would still be ruling as a regent until he came of age. But between you and me, he wasn't a very bright boy. So she would have been ruling until her death anyway. Oh, we're lucky to have her. Difficult times require determined leaders. Worse than ever. Oh, the wordness is thickening, and the roads are getting dangerous and unpredictable. That's why I'm here, wandering Avalon looking for solutions. If I don't do this, who will, You're probably wondering what a feeble old lady who can't even lift a sword could possibly accomplish. But King Arthur didn't conquer Avalon just because he couldn't swing a blade. No, he had knowledge, and enough wisdom to know how to use it. Lady Kincaid wasn't happy when she found out about this idea, but all mother's mercy, I am her tutor. She cannot dictate what I do, no matter her standing. Oh, do you mean a family? Oh, I've never had time for such trifles. No suitor was ever more interesting than a good book, nor did any of them smell better either. And I've raised enough of other people's children to never wish for my own. Oh, surprising. I'm looking for someone who will help me find a certain artifact. So, are you interested, child? I came to the Horns of the South because I found a fascinating book. It referred to a certain object, a figure most likely, which has the ability to dispel the wordness like a menhir can. Apparently, it can be found on the ship called Andraste, which sank over 100 years ago somewhere in this area. However, when I asked those nincompoops about it, they just laughed at me. They said that the Andraste wasn't carrying anything of value, and even if it was, they wouldn't freeze their butts off in those chilly waters. The Last Voyage of the Andraste by Elvis the Lightkeeper. He was one of the more notable keepers. In his waning years, he became an adjutant to Captain Lex. But it's best if you read it yourself. You can read, can't you? But just be very careful. This is a very rare publication. Read it very carefully, and after you're done, come to me, and I'll tell you more. A deal? Summarize? Oh, my dear child. Oh, do you really think you'd be handed everything on a silver platter? You're not as vain and conceited as certain ladies from House Macaulay, are you? You should be grateful you can learn history from eyewitness accounts. No, I'm not going to summarize The Last Voyage of Andraste for you, and don't ask me again, unless you want to make me very angry. And they say young people don't want to learn anything. Come on, chop, 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 get to reading. And? Have you read The Last Voyage of the Andraste? Oh, splendid, splendid. Oh, it's an excellent book, don't you think? Now, let's test your reading comprehension. According to Elvis the Lightkeeper, in the mine near the Horns of the South, they found something that they took with them on the ship. Do you remember what that was, child? That's right. This is the artifact I'm looking for. One that might be vital to repelling the wordness. According to Elvis's description, the figure is smaller than a menhir, and light enough that they were able to carry it to the ship without any trouble. Were it small, it would probably have been placed in Captain Lex's quarters instead of in the hold. I've estimated it should be about 1 meter tall. Good. Next question. What was the Andraste's destination? Correct. Be very careful with what I'm about to tell you. But some believe that the Red Priests are dedicated to studying the wordness instead of the Red Death. Captain Lex must have thought they'd pay him generously for a four-dweller artifact. Last question. What sank the Andraste? Yes, you did well, child. I can see that you were paying attention. According to Elvis, the Andraste was sunk by the legendary terror from the deep. But if you want to know more, ask your keeper friends. They should be much better informed. Now, all you need to do is find the wreck of the Andraste and retrieve the mysterious figure. Oh, if only I knew. It must have happened somewhere on the way between the Horns of the South and the Island Asylum. Oh, but where exactly? Fortunately, I know something that could help us. In the Horns of the South Museum, there are some extremely interesting books and documents lying around and collecting dust. Can you imagine having such treasures at hand and choosing to completely ignore them? Oh, barbarians! Among them, you'll find the Andraste's logbook, which was saved by Elvis. I've read it, of course, but I know nothing about sailing. I'm sure such a competent child as yourself will handle it much better. Go to the Horns of the South Museum, read the logbook, and then tell me whether you managed to locate the wreck of the Andraste.
Guess he's got nobody else to get pissed with. Finley never liked drinking alone with him. Tainted tends to get into one of his moods. And? What? That's all? You're bothering me just because that old rascal is sitting alone in the inn with nobody to natter to? You people, bugger off.
No, and I'm reluctant to admit that I'm unable to help with this matter. Cole's symptoms are unlike anything I've ever seen. I'm certain it's not one of the usual maladies carried by wild animals. As for the bite on Mahon, although it was a nasty wound at first, it healed very quickly. On Cole, it's barely visible. What do you think? Do I look like a mystic to you? A shaman? A village witch? I don't think so. Otherwise, I'd have a lot more to worry about. If you're looking for answers about things like this, you should consult the literature on the subject. Though I can't say I'd recommend it.
I knew we'd have to deal with this sooner or later. Time isn't exactly on our side. Mahon's condition worsens with each passing night. It's hard for me to admit, but nobody, including myself, really knows what's going on. Maybe a fresh perspective is exactly what we need. If you find any clues, follow them. I'm only interested in the details, and ideally, the solutions. Captain Hagen. Well, he was a man driven by pride and a certain disregard for caution. He sent men to explore those old tunnels beneath the keep. Somehow, he got it into his head that there was something valuable down in those tunnels. Treasures, relics, who knows what else. But the truth is, we know what was there. In the age of legends, it was just a hospital. There was some kind of outbreak or plague, and the place was sealed off. Nothing left to find, or so the records say. Yes, it weighs on me more than I'd care to admit. If I could, I'd see them laid to rest. But no captains ever bothered. It seems they thought it was a fool's errand. Maybe not worth the risk. If you're mad enough to try, then by all means go ahead. Just don't expect any keeper to follow you. I really don't have men to spare. But maybe it's time to make it right. So, thank you, I suppose.
Do you mean the document with information about the course, weather, position, and speed of the ship, as well as all of the stops and other occurrences kept by the captain or the first mate? More specifically, the document from the bridge of the Andraste, which sank tragically in nearby waters in the year 513. Indeed, we have it. Please wait here. Here it is, though I doubt those records will tell you anything, since the weirdness surrounding Avalon made sailing impossible. The knowledge of the precepts of navigation has been forgotten. Oh, no, we know that. You should have mentioned that you're looking for the wreck of the Andraste rather than the logbook. Every keeper knows that the Andraste was swallowed by the ocean. It's near what's currently known as Smuggler's Bay. Here, I'll mark it on your map. I have to admit that local fauna is not one of my main areas of interest, but I do know the answer to this question, as it is rooted in the history of the Horns of the South. It used to be the case that a significant part of the daily catch was gobbled up by our troublesome coastal neighbors. So the keepers of that time found a very peculiar way to deal with the problem. Some of them, called the seagullers, scared off the coastal birds using specially constructed masks. They made them from feathers and pieces of tanned pigskin sewn together. The reason the gulls avoided these masks is unclear, but perhaps their peculiar shape reminded them of a natural predator?
You're back. Did you bring my goods? Sweet all-mother, is he still whining about that contract? I want it fair and square. My offer was simply better, and Heffen's crap at negotiating. Besides, if you ask me, It's all just posturing. He might have lost the contract for his family, but for him, it was a clear win. Trading with the Keep in an official capacity. It means I don't just run this stand. I also handle orders from the captain and the quartermaster. It's a good deal, I won't lie, but it requires a lot of running around. I don't have time to twiddle my thumbs and make nice with the locals like Heffen does. Look, Heffen may seem dim, but he's a sly bastard. I'm not saying he lost on purpose, because I doubt that. But he didn't have to slink back to Connacht with his tail between his legs. He's got his little stall in the village, and he lords over it like a bloody king. Grouch that he is, he fits right in with the rest of those old codgers. Plus, he got his family off his back. All in all, I'd say he's doing quite well for himself.
You're the reason they put me here. You just wait until they let me out. I'll beat you so hard your own mother won't recognize you. Come a little closer so I can spit in your face. Nobody asked your opinion. I drink 'cause I want to. I drink 'cause guarding that empty gate is the most boring shit in the world. What's it to you, anyway, huh? Maybe I was drunk, but the gate was guarded. It's not your damn pin, I wouldn't even let you in. But all is not lost. We can still be friends. Listen, just pour something delicious down my throat, huh? And I'll forget this insult. I'm not guarding the gate right this second, am I? There's nothing wrong with having a little sip, right? Come on, don't be like that. Just a drop. That's all I ask. Aye, that's for me to decide. If you don't even want to help me with such a tiny thing, then get out of my sight. Me a throw bash to the bone, you grateful bastard.
Huh. It's for Dan, isn't it? That ungrateful bastard's still on the wall. You don't have to do that, kid. I know it's for him. It's fine. And I forgave him a long time ago. Now that I think about it, it was a hell of a prank. Well, he was right. I am old, but inefficient, stung a little bit. After all, I did my job well, and his sword is as sharp as Excalibur itself. Well, I may not be angry with him anymore, but that doesn't mean I'll work my ass off so that his doesn't freeze. Here's an explanation of how to make it. Feel free to help him out yourself.
Oh, thank you, friend. Let me repay your kindness. Even though I don't have much, I can at least tell you about something I saw a little while ago. It might be interesting for an adventurer like you. See those rocks near the shore? When it gets dark, sometimes I see a light there. I'm not sure what it could be, though. A bandit camp this close to the Horns? Impossible. The Daliata? No way. They wouldn't hide like that. Maybe something else entirely? It's probably nothing, but maybe you could find something interesting or valuable there. Farewell.
You're back! Hi! I told you, Ron is a good guy. And here's a little something for you. You know I pay well. Yes? What's the matter, my friend? You're really good at this today. Wait. Oh, you're serious. I understand. For so many years, I've been afraid to open this letter. But it looks like I needed to read it. Well, it is what it is, right? And I've been wondering why no one wants to talk to me. I thought to myself, are they mad at me or what? But why are you talking to me? How can you see me? Anyway, may the All-Mother bless your path. See you next time.
There you are. Finally. Do you have what I need? A mask? Eh? Are you sure? Ah, whatever. Sod it. Now they'll get what's coming to them. Damn rascals. You can go now. You're right. Here, take this. But don't think, even for a moment, that the struggle is over. We need more, much more, to finally rid ourselves of those blasted birds once and for all. Are you ready for the next step in our fight against the flying, shitting enemy? That's the spirit! In a war like this, every ally counts. Look, I've got the perfect seagull trap design right here. You just need to make a few and set them up in some strategic spots, like this one. And those flying pests will surely get caught. We need to work smart. Never! As long as I live and can do something, I'll keep fighting. Go on then, and fight against the flying vermin.
It's no secret. He's just an old, bitter man who hates the entire world. And I'm a part of it, so, well, it is what it is. That's all. He told that tale about the tunnels more times than I can count. To anyone who'll listen. But these days, it seems nobody does anymore. I've heard it plenty of times already, believe me. To him, those old friends of his were everything. They meant more than his own son, that's for sure. He'd go on and on about it. If I'd been there, if I'd gone with him, he won't let it go. Sometimes I think that if Fergus had let him go into those tunnels and meet the same end as his brothers, he might have found his peace. Or at least quit drinking. Keep your head down.
Ah, that's you. Do you... need something? Ah, yes, that old house. That place has been empty for years. The story goes, the last owner, Keeper Galen, threw himself into the sea one stormy night. Some folks whisper of curses or restless spirits, but I say it's just talk. The captain put it up for sale ages ago, but no one's had the guts or sense, if you ask me, to take it. If you're thinking of buying it, go for it. Make it your home. Every house deserves someone to fill it with life again. No, not really. Fortunately.
Oh, right. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Beatrice. As for me and Cole, well, we left Ree hoping to find a quiet place to rest for a bit.
We planned to travel the King's Road toward Camelot. Well, here we are. We found our bloody Camelot. Cole is locked up and all I can do is shed bitter tears.
Yeah, we grew up there. The village was built around a trade route. My parents ran a tavern that stood right by the road.
We had a good life. We lacked for nothing. Well, that was before the damned grubwood started spitting out monsters.
Then more and more caravans disappeared into the forest. People were telling stories that grew more horrifying by the day. In the end, taking that route meant certain death. The same thing that will happen to every place on this godforsaken island. Ruin. We used to have generous clientele. Merchants and emissaries from all over Avalon. They had deep pockets, always left lots of gold. But well, that changed. Then our only income came from the villagers, who were getting drunker and poorer by the day. That was always our plan. Col and I never wanted to stay there forever. Beatrice and Cole from the village of Ree, that wasn't us.
Yeah. I doubt I'll ever see him again. I don't think there's anything worth going back for. Each of us has a different story. Some wanted to seek their fortune elsewhere, like me and Cole. Some had to flee their homes because of bandits pillaging their villages, or because of the weirdness. Ree could be one of those places by now. There's so much turmoil in this world. People can suddenly lose themselves, becoming a danger to those they once loved. 2 or 3 weeks ago, things were starting to get difficult. The supplies we brought with us were running low. A larger group of people is always helpful. There's always someone to talk to and share the work with. But it also means more mouths to feed and more worries to deal with. It's not easy.
What? What? How dare you? Do you know the meaning of those flowers in that configuration? Revenge. Revenge, deception, and death. There's nothing nice about it, and I don't know if he did it on purpose or if he's just an idiot. But trust me, it's not a nice gesture. Thank you. For them. You are from nowhere, just like me. That's why I believe you. Take those flowers away, burn them, throw them in a cauldron, whatever. I don't want to look at them.
Be careful out there.
Ah, it's you. Do you need something? Well, the thing is, I've always liked the village and the veterans living here. When you go to the tavern, they'd always share a drink and a story with you. Some of them could be real dicks. Take Tadkin, for example. But all in all, it's always been a nice place to visit. So, when the opportunity came up, I figured, why not? But the moment I took this post, I stopped being Tiernan the drinking buddy and turned into their punching bag. It's just demands, demands, demands. And when I don't meet them immediately, they start yelling and calling me names. Now I get what people mean when they say, be careful what you wish for. Because clearly, I was the best man for the job. A man with a bad leg. Perfect for running around fixing things, right? I wanted to be a builder. Big things, lighthouses, bridges. But Dara took one look at me and thought, maybe not the guy who lives like a drunk on ice. So they found me something else. Repairs. Patching up what's already standing. Not quite what I dreamed of. But hey, at least nothing I work on is tall enough to kill me if I fall off. Well, unless you count that one time I got too ambitious. Turns out, hanging tapestries isn't as harmless as it sounds. You did? I thought I heard some hammering. Oh, well, thank you for that. Truly. One less thing to worry about, right? Here, I put aside some money from my budget. You've earned it. And you have my gratitude. I'd ask you to fix the refugee barracks, but, well, there's no budget for making people's lives slightly less miserable. We'd have to do with something less spectacular. There are 2 places around here that could use some fixing up. First, there's the old gate. It used to be a proud marker for our territory, but now it's more of a sorry welcome sign. Then, there's the monument to the sea creature. It's been weathered down by the salty breeze, and honestly, it's starting to look less monumental and more pathetic. If you could restore them, it would do wonders for morale. And maybe even impress Fergus. What do you say? Ah, that's the spirit! I knew I could count on you. Once those are back in shape, this place might start looking like it's cared for again.
So much for a secluded cave keeping visitors away. Seems like there's no one on this island to hide in peace. Ah well, since you're here, I have an important question. Do you have any food?
I promise to answer all of your questions, no matter how annoying or asinine they might be. But first, do you have any food? Oh dear. Yes, food. That stuff you put in your mouth to make sure your body doesn't wither and die, you know? Fish, meat, vegetables, bread. Oh, some bread would be especially nice. But I'll take anything, really. Thanks. I'll be forever indebted to you. But don't expect much. The only payment I can offer you is seashells. Or, you know, access to an infinite well of ancient druidic wisdom. I'd rather you choose wisdom. I threw out my collection of seashells a few days ago after I stepped on them with my bare feet. Much better. A time for a nap. Except you're still here. Oh no, don't tell me you still have questions. Well, I live here, obviously. Why not? It's a perfectly good cave, albeit a bit drafty and damp. Well, it could be better, to be honest, but we can't all live in mansions, can we? The same way you did, I presume. Am I? That's odd. No one ever accused me of that before. Well, I guess that's what living alone in a cave does to your conversational skills. My name is Drest, and I am the local hermit. I don't understand your skepticism. I live alone in a cave, collect seashells, and occasionally talk to crabs. What else could I be? But didn't you know? There are no more druids. The mob rounded them all up, stuffed them into a giant wicker man, and lit a fire. Their screams could barely be heard over the roaring flames, but the stench of the burning flesh easily overwhelmed the smell of blazing wicker. Its glow painted the sky in reds and yellows for the entire night. Don't be silly. How could I have been there if I'm here now? Some years ago? I'm not sure. I don't remember. Can we change the subject? I'm sure there are more interesting things we could be talking about. Oh, you know what would be nice? A bath. I do miss baths. I suppose when someone says they miss the taste of roast pork, you tell them to go lick a pig. Anyway, show me the scroll. Yes, I see. Well, you should definitely follow the ritual. Just make sure you do everything exactly as it is written. I'm sorry, I can't tell you anymore, but it is essential that you discover it for yourself. Revealing the details would spoil the effect. The pursuit of knowledge often requires taking great risks. Now, off you hop. The ritual awaits.
Oh, a new face. I haven't seen you before. It depends on who's asking and why. I'm kidding. I don't meet many outsiders these days. I'm Marg, a hunter in the service of the Horns of the South. Everything is interesting around here. But ultimately, it depends on what you're looking for. No. I respect your candor. You need to understand that when someone enlists with the Horns of the South, He leaves his former self outside the walls of the keep. His old life, it loses all meaning. If someone comes here and gets political, well, they'll end up disappointed. Well, I don't know if you're aware, but becoming the captain is a curse for any true keeper. It's not the honor others on Avalon seem to think it is. Because the captain answers to Camelot and its representative, Galahad. So every captain needs to get political, whether he likes it or not. And the current Galahad is a real piece of shit. He burns people under any pretext whatsoever, or none at all. He sows terror. I have no respect for the man. I'm self-sufficient enough not to have to ask for help. However, I suppose I could help you. I could share some things I found out during my hunts. I don't know what it is about this place, but even the dead hardly ever get any rest. Though I'll admit, it's getting worse lately. They keep emerging from the local cemetery in numbers greater than that small plot of land ever held. So I'm guessing we might have a necromancer on our hands. And here I thought after the charred conclave, we'd have more than 100 years of peace from them. Only every century or so. But even that's too often if you ask me. Something seems to draw them here. Well, it's probably all that death. The South has always been restless, and after what happened with the sunken village, I guess death has seeped into the very soil of this land. Must be quite alluring for that lot. Because I'm not stupid or suicidal, I can go up against a few undead, but their masters are a different story. I'm a simple hunter, while they have the power to raise the dead. Arrows are only good against magic if you're far away from the caster, which is impossible in the crypt. But if you decide not to help, I'll have no choice, will I? Or I could just wait for the necromancer to be destroyed by what they summoned. It happens sometimes, from what I've heard. Good. And try not to die. That undead swarm doesn't need any more recruits.
Who goes there? Are you the one responsible for all that racket? People are trying to rest in peace, damn it. You should be. These folks fell into their eternal slumber a long time ago. But some of them have turned out to be very light sleepers. Not their fault, but we should at least try not to wake them up. I'm telling you, ever since people started burning their dead, it's like they've forgotten proper manners in places like this. My name's Huardok, and I am the keeper of this place. I look after the dead, or at least, I try to. It used to be much easier where they stayed in one place. Now I need to keep making sure they don't stray too far from the cemetery. But I'm not complaining. A little exercise is good for the body. Dead, alive, what's the difference? I am here. I always have been, and I always will be, until the day I'm released from my service. Truth be told, I'm not quite sure. Has it been a long time since the wave came and swallowed the village? That was when people stopped coming here. It's like the sea washed away the memory of this place as well. I don't remember much of what happened afterwards. I must have fallen asleep for a while. I know everything that happens here. If you're looking for some juicy gossip, Becca from the third row south still has no idea where her husband is. They were supposed to be buried together, you see, but he never showed up. The scoundrel. Everyone here thinks he got remarried and chose to rest with his second wife. Not me. I think he probably got eaten. Oh, that would be Master. He's been at his experiments again, I'm afraid. Getting the folks around here all agitated. Putting them back to sleep again is going to be such a chore. Master is Master. He commands the dead. I don't know much else. I'm here to serve, not to ask questions. Dunno. Usual. Glowing chalk, candles and dead bodies. I even saw some new faces recently, but they didn't stay long. You want me to betray his trust that easily? We barely know each other. I wouldn't tell you even if I could. Because it's my purpose. The sole reason I was brought back. That has never changed, just as I haven't. But I'm happy where I am. The dead need company too, you know. The folks here were forsaken by the living. At least I can make sure they're not lonely. Interested in local history, are you? Good, good. The memory of those who came before us should be preserved. I can let you in. There is a small fee of 5 gold coins, for the upkeep of the cemetery, of course. It's constant work, as you can clearly see, and my petitions for additional funds seem to have fallen on deaf ears. Bless you, kind stranger. Those old bones are not what they used to be. Here, just take the key. Be careful, though. There's evil dwelling in those crypts. Oh, and I hope I don't need to remind you not to rob any graves. It's terribly rude, and I'd rather not deal with the complaints.
Careful there! Try not to step on the array. It's advanced magic. Very fragile. Stop. Well, what I am doing here is very important. Besides, I'm hardly hurting anyone. Well, anyone that matters, that is. That is a gross oversimplification. I am conducting valuable research, and yes, I do get rid of vermin and give their sorry existence some actual meaning. Posthumously, but, well, as they say, better late than never, right? Don't tell me you care about the lives of a few bandits. I'm not desecrating anything, it's just flesh. There's nothing sacred about it in the first place. It starts decaying the moment you die. I'm merely prolonging its usefulness. And I've made some tremendous breakthroughs. I know people fear this kind of magic, but it creates so many new possibilities. It could change the meaning of life and death. Give those who died prematurely more time with their loved ones. We could learn to live without the fear of dying. We could treat death not like an end, but like a new beginning. Don't enjoy it either. It's messy, and it takes up far too much time that could be better devoted to my research. Think about it this way. People who wrought so much misery on others could end up bettering the lives of everyone. I've made some tremendous breakthroughs. Oh, please. Is that the only thing people can think of when it comes to necromancy? What use would I have with an army? My ambition isn't to command the dead, but death itself. I aim to make Avalon a place where people won't have to fear it anymore. The problem is, I keep missing something. Raising the dead is easy, but I don't want mindless minions. I want truly living undead. Yet no matter what I do, it just won't work. That's absurd. Nobody on Avalon is more experienced than I am. Nobody. Nonsense. The process, as you aptly called it, holds no secrets from me. I have studied its every stage, every aspect, all while keeping meticulous records. It's almost insulting how straightforward it is, how little variety there is at its very core. Death truly does make all of us equal. And yet, capturing the connection between the flesh and the spirit continues to elude me. No matter how I approach it. I've even tried to force it, but to no avail. That's just sentimental drivel. There's nothing uniquely significant about any of us. Take it from someone who's seen it all. Warduk. You mean the servant? I'm not sure where you got that idea, but he is indeed merely a minion. Quite a sophisticated one, I'll admit, but he's never said more than 2 words to me. Fine. If you wish to waste your time with him, go ahead. Who knows, maybe his first master simply forbade him from speaking his mind. Still, don't hold your breath for any groundbreaking insights.
Oh, you're back. You see? I couldn't tell. I don't mean any offense, but they're all the same to me. Every one of them thinks they're reinventing death or breaking the circle of life. And the only thing they're doing is disturbing some honest folk in their rest. I don't have much choice, do I? But I don't mind the service. I like being around the dead. It's just the constant cleanup that gets to you after a while. Pah! No! I'm sure he won't be the last. This place is very popular with their kind for some reason, and they always leave it in such a state. It's not like it would hurt them to pick up a few bones and put them back in place. No. I just don't think we have anything to talk about. I don't mean any offense, but truth be told, they're all the same to me. Every one of them thinks they're reinventing death or breaking the circle of life. And the only thing they're doing is disturbing some honest folk in their rest. Oh, does he now? That's quite admirable. And rather unusual for his kind. Normally they act as though they know all there is to know, yet they always end up baffled by their failures. I'd love to help, but alas, I'm not certain I can. You see, death is intensely personal, and as such, quite indescribable. Well, whether you die alone or surrounded by loved ones, dying is the loneliest experience of our lives. It can't be shared or taken from someone. In the end, no matter how it happens, our death is the only thing that truly belongs to us. It's a potent experience, one for which there are no words, because there is simply no need for them. Nobody is meant to die and then return to tell the tale. I'm glad to have been of assistance, though I do wonder how the Master will react when he hears about this. I just hope he doesn't do anything that will cause even more trouble here.
Well, what earth-shattering revelation do you have for me? Are you threatening me? But this is my life's work. You don't understand. This island, it wants us all dead. For 600 years, everything here has been trying to kill us. No matter what we did, it seemed hopeless. So, I sought a different solution. And I've done terrible things to get here. Abandoning it now would mean it was all for nothing. Another way? What other way? This is all I know. No, my hands are forever stained with death. They will never be fit for healing. Because my potions are all useful for one thing, the dead. I doubt they'd be in high demand. Gods, this truly is a dead end, isn't it? I spent my life chasing something unattainable. I'm not sure I'm as smart as you think I am, but I am smart enough to know when to give up. Fine then. Here, take these. I won't need them anymore. So this is goodbye. I'm not sure if meeting you has been a blessing or a curse, but I guess only time will tell.
The Master just left. You know, that's never happened before. Never. Their kind are quite persistent, to put it mildly. Their obsession with death tends to lead to, well, you can probably imagine. And it always ends with a mess for me to clean up. I'm not quite sure, to be honest. I guess I'll keep doing what I've always done. Tidy up the crypts and put everybody back to sleep. Then I might try to catch a nap myself. Until the next one comes along in 100 years or so, and I'll have to start all over again. A few. They don't come around too often, but when they do, it's always an entire ordeal. I've even set aside a special crypt for them. They may not have been the kindest men, but they still don't deserve to be completely forgotten. You can visit them if you like. Don't worry, they won't be wandering about. They're all quite peaceful in death. Perhaps that's all they ever needed. Goodbye. Thanks for stopping by. The folks here might not show it, but we really do appreciate a visitor now and then. It's nice to be remembered, even if just for a little while.